Hi friends, welcome to English Study Point. Today here in this video lecture, I am going to discuss with you about most important work by Om Prakash Valmiki ji, that is Juten. So here in this video lecture, I am just focusing on telling you introduction which is related to this particular work. This video is part number 1 and now I am beginning this video lecture. First of all, I am describing about important personal details which is related to Om Prakash Valmiki ji's personal life. So he was born in uh, on 1950 and died in 2013. He was born at village of Barla in the Muzaffarnagar district of Uttar Pradesh in an untouchable community Chura. So this particular work entirely talks about life of Chura community and also throws light upon the kind of treatment these people receive at the hands of people belonging from upper sections of society. Not only this, one example that I myself witnessed after reading this particular work is that once one of the member from this community was invited to do work at marriage ceremony that was organized by people belonging from upper sections of society, and after that marriage ceremony was over, uh, as a response to his intense hard work, that particular person received just nothing but a leftover of food that was already eaten by somebody else. So a member from Chura community, when he attended marriage ceremony to do work in that marriage ceremony, he as a result of his intense hard work, he was given nothing, just a leftover, and that was already eaten by somebody else. So this work tries to show or throw light upon the kind of injuries that was inflicted by upper people belonging from upper sections of society upon these people who belong from Chura community. So here we see about Om Prakash Valmiki that he is trying to reflect by his work painful sufferings that was inflicted upon these people that belongs from Chura community. And now we see that Om Prakash Valmiki ji was a great poet as well as a great critique, and we also see that his best known autobiography is Juten. Now, full title of Juten is Juten semicolon A Dalit's Life. This particular work was originally written in Hindi and published in 1997, and also in this work he narrates excruciatingly painful life of his growing up in a village which is near to Uttar Pradesh. And he tries to talk about in this work the painful sufferings that Dalit community face in his lifetime by the people belonging from upper sections of society. And also we see that this particular work was originally written in Hindi but was translated in English by Arun Prabha Mukherjee in a journal called Samaya. So this work was published by Samaya in 2004 in English translation. And Arun Prabha Mukherjee was a teacher of English at York University, Toronto, and when this work was translated from Hindi to English, this work won the New India Foundation Best Book Award. Please remember this, all these details which is related to this particular work. Then a person whose name is Sumit Guha, he was one of the subaltern historians on the blurb of the 2007 edition of the book. So what this blurb is a kind of short description about a book which was written for promoting a book. So blurb is a kind of short description which was written in order to promote a book. So when this book Juten again appears as a new edition in 2007, how he describes how this person Sumit Guha, who was a subaltern historian, he described this book as a searing memoir. Searing memoir means this book tries to throw light on the personal experiences of people belonging from Dalit community. So this work Juten is a kind of searing memoir. Searing means it this work tries to awake as well as talks about personal experiences of Om Prakash Valmiki ji, and also not only about Om Prakash Valmiki ji, but about entire Dalit community who spend their livelihood not in respectable life, but only in humiliation. So this work tries to talk about or throws light upon upon life experiences of Om Prakash Valmiki ji, and also it is a searing memoir of the life of sensitive. So he was a sensitive person, so that is why here it is written sensitive, as well as he was a intelligent Dalit youth. So he, when he was living during the time of independent India, at that time he was very studious in his classroom. That is why he it has been written here in these lines, or here in this statement, that this it is a searing memoir of the life of the sensitive and intelligent Dalit youth. So he was at that time intelligent Dalit youth who produced such great work which tries to awake Dalit consciousness, because it reflects the kind of struggles that these people faced in order to gain their rights back from the people who are dominating them. So, it is a kind of searing memoir of the life of the sensitive and intelligent Dalit youth in independent India. This work tells how he fought in order to gain education. So, here we see in this work how he overcame contempt, humiliation, as well as violence to gain education and join the slowly growing ranks of Dalit intellectuals and Dalit literary movement in India. So, here we see his fight for education. Not only he is fighting, his fight is attributed as the fight of entire Dalit community, and the major or main cause of this fight is to just to make Dalit people educated, so that they are aware of their rights and they know how to struggle or how to fight for their own rights. So this work try to awake the Dalit's consciousness. Author here as an autobiographer. So here we in this work see that author, who is Om Prakash Valmiki ji, he is acting as a kind of autobiographer who plays a role of an artist. Yes, here in this work he is playing a role of an artist, because he by writing such great work, that is Juthan, he is kind of producing a great art. So that is why here it is written that he plays a role of an artist and as a reader of Ambedkarite. Yes, he is also a reader of Ambedkarite, because we found in his work so many elements that was inspired from Ambedkar philosophy. So he was so inspired from Ambedkar, and we found elements in his work or influences of his work from this person, this great person whose name is Ambedkar. So, in that sense, he became an aesthete. Why he became an aesthete? Because he is playing a role of an artist by creating such great work, that is Juthan, and as well as he is mentioning so many elements that was inspired from great person, that is Ambedkar. So he became an aesthete who is trying to create a beautiful work which tries to reflect the lit art. And Valmiki was attracted to social realism. So yes, he was attracted to social realism because in his work we try to see social realities in his works. We see that there are so many tortures, humiliations. So these elements try to depict us a society's reality, how this society gives or treats people who are not as equal to his rank. So here I am talking about people belonging from lower strata of society, how these people receive the kind of treatment or the injuries inflicted upon them by the people belonging from upper sections of society. His empathy towards Dalits has been in public. Yes, he publicized Dalits issues by publishing an article in the Nav Bharat Times. So here, by these lines, I am trying to say that he also highlighted so many or several issues as well as sufferings of Dalit people in an article in the Nav Bharat Times, Bombay, in which he tries to depict us or describe about the incidents of Ganvai brothers that took place in Pune. What this incidents of Ganvai brothers suggest, now I am explaining you. So these are two brothers, Ganvai brothers are two brothers, and they are fighting for the injustices because they too belong from low strata of society, and they are resisting against injustices faced by Dalit community. So what happened in response is that their eyes of these two brothers were gouged out for resisting injustices. So we here see that the result of their of fighting against such kind of injustice is that their eyes were gouged. So this is incident of Ganvai brothers which took place in Pune, and also this was highlighted by Om Prakash Valmiki ji in an article which was published in Nav Bharat Times, Bombay. And also we see that Om Prakash Valmiki ji was inspired by Bhim Rao Ambedkar, and we see lot many influences in his work which reflects that he was a great follower of great men, that is Ambedkar, Bhim Rao Ambedkar. And as observed, and there is an important quotation by Valmiki ji, that is, only he or she who has suffered this anguish knows its sting. So these lines suggest that only people who uh, lived in such kind of sufferings, they understand the main cause or major cause, because they lived in that particular circumstance. So they are the only ones who understand the actual situation, because painful injuries inflicted on such kind of people, so they know uh, the real cause. So here cause is not a fit word. Instead of cause, I would suggest that they know the cost of these sufferings because they lived in these particular circumstance. So how much inflicted as well as painful these situations are for them, and how much costly, because they bear these painful injuries upon them and they know the cost of it. It means here sufferings. So after this, I would like to add some more points. Valmiki ji's Juthan is constituted of events in 37 sections which have been arranged in a sequence from his childhood village life to his attaining a position of established Hindi poet, critique as well as a Dalit activist. And here this Juthan work refers to, this Juthan word refers to scraps of food left on a plate, and this work was published in 1997. And here in this work he is trying to highlight the kind of untouchability that was practiced by educators, means people who are living in high position, they are more they do this evil practice of saying people who are lower than their position, they always say them that they are inferior, and they started categorizing them as untouchables. Now I am continuing this video in this another part in another video lecture. Then here with this particular video lecture ends here. Hope this video lecture will help you in your UGC NET English literature exams.